Hello, this is a short orientation on how to use Moodle in the context of this course. You'll see a image something like this. What we have here is some welcomes to the course. These types of structures here are forums. Announcements is a forum I can only post to. This is a forum for general class use. And you see here a couple of PDF files. One is the class syllabus. I do encourage you to look at this and be familiar with the syllabus. Note here on the right hand side, in this particular browser at least, you got some buttons to change your view, to download it and to print it. Next I have a resources section. The NCSU EDA wiki will be quite useful to you. You'll be using these as we go to various homeworks later in the course. Sutherland Reference Guide is a very nice reference guide to Verilog 95 and Verilog 2001. And I encourage you to look at that and consider using it quite regularly while you're doing things. I'll add other things, resources to here as they occur. For example, someone posted in a course that this logic simulator is useful in Homework 0. Next I have some course orientations, then the revision section. The introduction is the first substantive section of the course, so I'll just briefly describe the overall view of this. This is a PDF out of the notes that correspond to the slides. I have a few introductory remarks explaining, putting this module within the big picture context of the course. I have another PDF specifically listing objectives and key points and references. Some people find this useful in their learning to create some additional focus. So I do encourage you to look at that and possibly use it as a review at the end of the section. Then we have the sub-modules within this module. In this introductory module, we have 4 sub-modules. For each of these, I have a video linked to the YouTube site, where of course you can take that to full screen in order to look at it. I've got the sound turned off at this moment. If you don't have YouTube access and been enrolled in the non-YouTube group, and because of server limitations, we want the vast majority of you to use the YouTube, so this really only applies so far to students in Pakistan and China, then you'll be able to see this YouTube video, which is just simply an embedded video in the browser. You see the QuickTime symbol coming up there. This video doesn't have subcaptions in it, so it's the YouTube videos have subcaptions. For that reason, I've also supplied a transcript, which all of you should be able to see. At the end of each submodule, there's a quiz specific to this submodule. The purpose of this quiz is to reinforce learning. For that reason, I've set this up with 3 attempts, and after each attempt, you will see some feedback on your attempts. You won't see what the correct answers are, but you'll see feedback if you've given the correct answer. This allows you to iterate over the 3 attempts to getting close to 100%. You should be getting close to 100% for these quizzes. After you've taken each submodule, in this case there are 4 submodules, there may or may not be a homework. The homework is something that is submitted. In the case of the online course, it's submitted for peer review. What you see here is in this particular homework, it's actually structured as a quiz. However, for the peer review purposes, you have to turn in the homework using this, what's called a workshop in Moodle, right after the homework. So this is where you turn in the homework. This is an instructor format, but you should see the submissions here. In addition, there is a quiz at the end of each module. This quiz is more for examination than to reinforce learning, though of course it does reinforce learning. For that reason, it's structured a little differently, the intramodule quizzes. After you submit it, you do not get any feedback, at least until the quiz closes, which in this semester is every Wednesday that the successive quizzes close. You have 2 attempts. The reason I've given you 2 attempts is just in case you screw something up, where you go click, 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 and you realize, and you submit it and you forgot. You just realize, I just clicked the wrong answer. That should have been different. So you get 2 attempts without feedback. But the purpose of this quiz is to challenge you a little bit more of a testing quiz than a learning reinforcement quiz. Though again, of course, it does produce that result. Later, there will be quizzes that will be more like examinations. And there again, I'm likely to allow 2 attempts without feedback. So just in case just to give you a chance to fix obvious screw-ups. And this structure repeats itself in all the modules in the course. The only thing that's a little bit different, and these are grayed out because you can't see them right now, is that later there'll be a midterm, and later there will be a description of the mini project that is part of the course and how to turn that in. All right, thank you very much. I hope that short video was useful to you.